Hey coin collectors, it's DC on the Big D, and this is the 1953 Lincoln penny. And you can see that we have all three of them here. We have the Denver Mint in the center, the San Francisco Mint to your left, and the Philadelphia Mint right here. And you're going, why don't you have a little bit more light on them? And as I start putting more light on them, you're going to see why I don't have that much light on them. And that's because the 1953 is one of those years for the pennies. It's just really hard to get a good looking 1953 penny. It shouldn't be that hard. And that's because they made 129,000 of the proof sets in 1953. And then they made an additional 15,000 of the PDS mint sets. So there should be, with 140,000 of coins that were never circulated, essentially, shouldn't be that much of a problem getting the high grade coins, but I'll tell you what, it is. There is no 1953 coin graded over MS68 by PCGS or NGC. In fact, there is only one that's graded at MS68, and that's a San Francisco Mint coin, which they estimate is worth about $17,500. So that's the San Francisco Mint. San Francisco Mint, they made 182 million. Denver, they made 701 million. And in Philadelphia, they made 257 million. So a billion pennies between all of them, and nothing hardly ever at 67 or over. So what's the best? So if the best San Francisco Mint coin is a 68, MS Mint State 68, what's the best Denver Mint coin? Well, the best Denver Mint coin that we know of is an MS67 Plus. There's 9 of them. It's probably worth about $4,500. And look at this. It looks like it's got spots all over it. This is a relatively unused coin. We look at the bow tie, we see the folds. We look down here, we can see a pretty good VDB, except it's all covered up with junk all over it. The NGC, which is the Numismatic Guarantee Company, which is a rating agency, says that in 1940, late 40s and early 50s, they used a kind of wash on these coins. It caused streaking and staining, and probably they said it was from what they used to clean up planchets. So you'll see a lot of these that are not used, that are essentially uncirculated, and it'll have these spots on them. This one is even weirder. It just looks like it got washed in acid or something. And, it's got pretty good detail. It says, "In God we trust" above Lincoln, "Liberty" behind, 1953 under his chin. And at the Philadelphia Mint in 1953, they have 11 MS65s. They have less MS65 and over than they do for the 1909, the first year of this coin. They have an MS67, there's 3 of them, and that one's worth about $20,000. So if you can find a Philadelphia coin and a Mint State 67 Plus, you're talking about $20,000 according to PCGS. There is one coin, though, that is out there that is worth even more, and that is a kind of an interesting story. The U.S. Mint has released mint sets and proof sets for a long time. In fact, the first proof set that I'm aware of came out in 1936. They did it kind of off and on. In 1953 was the 12th year that they put out proof sets, and they put 128,800 of them out. That proof set cost $2.10, and now it's worth about $200. So there should be 129,000 pretty good shape ones. Remember, the proof set in 1953 is going to have no mint mark on it because it came from Philadelphia, not San Francisco. They also released 15,538 PDS uncirculated mint sets. So we should be able to get all of these in uncirculated mint sets, and there still is no real high value ones. So if you're going to look for these, you can look in the proof set, but there's 129,000 of them that they sold. We're not sure how many are left out there. You can look in the uncirculated mint sets, and those are hard to get. They're worth about $700 or $800 because they only made about 15,500 of them. All right. What about the other coins for that year? Well, let's take a look. This is the nickel from 1953, and we see this is a little chipped up. This one's used, no steps. And this is the San Francisco Mint nickel, the Roosevelt dime, 1953. And of course, in 1953, you're going to have to look on the back of the dime too. And you'll see that this is a Denver Mint dime. We got the D down there on the back. There is the quarter, and this is actually an almost uncirculated quarter that just has this film all over it. And you can actually, if you turn over on the back, you see the streaking as if somebody tried to wash it. This is actually how it came out of the packaging. It just wasn't done very well. It's a Denver Mint. You can see the D on the back down here. It just wasn't done very well, and it was this chemical that they used on them. And then, of course, they had Franklin half. This is a 52, but 53, same thing, with the Liberty Bell on the back. And the Franklin half has its mint marks up here on the top if you're looking for those. All right, well, look for these pennies. If you can find a proof set or an uncirculated mint set, you may be in luck. If you can't, and you can find one that's anywhere near an MS65, it's probably going to have some value. So look for the best ones you can of the 53s. Thanks for watching Big D Coin Channel.